What is up, guys? Welcome back to a brand new video. Today, we are going to be doing a quick color match. If you have been wanting to practice your color match, then this is the video for you. Now, this is not a color match tutorial. I have plenty of those to go check out the other videos on my channel. And if you want to always dive deeper into more HueForge, you should seriously consider joining the Discord or checking out my Patreon. We do live classes, we have one-on-one coaching sessions, and you get 2 exclusive tutorials every single month. With all that being said, let's dive right in. Now, I know we are a little past the season for Snoopy, but I really liked this image and I wanted to try and color match it. Now, when I look at an image like this, I know that the color match is going to be kind of easy. And typically that's because there are so many defined colors. The yellow and the blue and the red are all so distinct and there's no gradients going on. And so we should have a relatively easy time trying to color match this. So we're going to start by dragging in our white. We want the fake filament up there and we want to make sure that our TD is represented at a 1 because that is what our fake filaments do. Then we're going to drag in our yellow. We're going to get rid of our orange. I think yellow is going to sit near the white, but we'll see. That might change. We get rid of our gray. We're going to drag in our blue, and then we are going to drag in our red. Now, the biggest thing that I want to keep in mind as I'm processing through this image is that the white on top is going to allow a lot of these kind of like spikes through. And that's just by nature of this design. If you can zoom in here, you see that it's just a little blurry. Maybe we could try to upscale it, but I don't think we need to. But I don't like the way that looks. So we have a couple different options. I think the main one is I want to bring the black kind of towards the top here to cover up a lot of those colors. And so we're just going to play around with this a little bit. And we're going to play around with the idea of not having our black as the top color. Bring our yellow up. Yellow and red are deceiving colors. They like to fight with one another, especially the red. Red is it's susceptible to just shining through areas that you really don't want it to shine through. And so I don't mind the way that this looks. We're still getting a little bit of kind of blue peeking through, but we might be able to help. We might be able to fix that remedy when we hop over to the color core. It's important to know that even after you've been working in HueForge for a while, you still have to troubleshoot a lot of things, and trying things like moving black to the middle of the image might be the thing that helps create a really cool picture. And you can tell here, maybe it does need to go at the bottom. We get much cleaner lines there. Granted, our blue is kind of back. This blue is going to give us trouble, I have a feeling, unless we try to toss it up there. Yellow is also just one of those like really deceitfully ugly colors. Let's see, something like that. Okay, we're going to stick with this for now, and we'll see if we can get kind of a remedy here once we switch over to our color core. But I do like the crisp black lines that we get with black on the base. So we're going to keep that there. We're going to go ahead and delete our gray, delete our orange, bring our white up, and then find closest filament. I use Bamboo Lab filaments, and so I'm going to drag that up. Blue, this cobalt blue at a 1.2 is super, super strong. The problem is that our yellows are not super strong, 6.0 TD, and so it's going to look very muddy here, as you can tell. And then we're going to grab our red here. And I think I'm going to use Bamboo Lab Scarlet Red because it's very matte. And now that I'm looking at this image over here on our color core, you can tell that it looks very different than our mesh core. And this is because real filaments function differently than these fake filaments that we use to build our mesh core. And so we're just going to play around with this and play around with our different options. So I'm going to bring the blues down into the middle, bring the yellows up here, bring our blue up. And as you can tell, yeah, our yellows are kind of ugly. And so we're going to try maybe moving red up to the top. Bring our red up. We're going to bring our blues drastically down here because it's a very strong color. If you followed my tutorials, especially my Patreon members, you know that we want more yellow to shine through, then we need to bring our blue up. We're going to play around with that. And we're going to bring our red down. It's going to need a couple more layers here so that we can make our whites a bit brighter. I am going to swap from a jade white that has a 5.0 TD. I'm going to switch to an ivory white that has a 3.5 TD. It's just a little bit stronger and will get us more clearly defined and bright whites there. Okay, I'm going to bring my red up just a tad, something like that. Bring that up. Now this yellow, I'm not a huge fan of. Let's play around, see if we have any lower TD yellows. And for PLA, we don't really, but for PLA Plus, we do. This fluorescent yellow, this New Maker's fluorescent yellow is really good. PLA Plus, so we shouldn't have any adhesion problems. And I like the way that that looks all ready. 100%. Okay. So now we're going to play around with a little bit of spike removal here. See if that helps us out at all. It does a little bit, but not a ton. You can see our blue is still being a little pesky here. And it's important to note when you're 3D printing, HueForges, no one's ever looking at your print this closely. This is like holding it straight up to your face and staring at it. When you're looking at it from back here, it doesn't it doesn't cause nearly as much of a problem. The other option that we could play around with is actually bringing our blend depth up quite a bit. We're going to play around 36 layers, and we're going to do 2 layers of black. And so I'm going to bring this up here. Now you can see that that does fix quite a bit of that kind of flexing that we have there. And moderate, actually like that quite a bit, that yellow. The other option would be to bring the red under the yellow, but I really don't think that's going to work very well because the red is going to shine through the yellow because of how low of a TD this has and how high of a TD this has. And so where I would call it, this looks really good. It's an accurate representation of this image. The only thing that maybe I would look at differently is finding a different red. This is a little too scarlety, a little too like matte, and this New Maker's Nuclear Red, boom, that looks so good. Maybe a little too dark, to be honest. We could maybe snag, there's a Lava Red that is very popular. That's a little too high of a TD. Let me type in the word lava. I believe it's eSun. I'm on PLA Plus also. Yeah, Polyterra. This Lava Red, whew, that's almost spot on, y'all. That looks incredible. I love this Lava Red. It's got a 1.0 TD. And so there is one other option. We could try and put this down at the bottom. Because of how low of a TD that is, I think because on this original image, you see how this is a little bit white. That's why it's trying to put yellow there. And you can see we can play around with our brightness. Watch, I'm going to bring this down. It's going to disappear. Something like that. We might even be able to take that out. And again, this is all just a process of figuring out what looks good and tweaking your settings as you go. And this is why HueForge it's difficult to learn. It's not easy to learn because there's just a lot of different ways to approach an image. And likely the way that you would approach this image is functionally different than the way I'm even approaching it right now. But you can get some really cool results by just trying a bunch of different things. And that's why you have to be open to an image looking absolutely horrible to try something new because you might get it to look really, really good. All right, bring that down. Guys, that's pretty spot on. We did kind of get rid of this down here. We do have some splotchiness going on. That might be it. Well, no, we definitely want to keep that on then. Okay. That looks good. We do have a little bit. It's going to be so difficult to see. I doubt that this would even show up when we print it. Y'all, that is how I would approach this image. I think I would call this done pretty much right here. I would love to see how you would approach this image. I'm actually going to link this image in the description of this video. And so if you've watched this far, then you have access to this image. You can click the link in my description and you can go through the process of creating this HueForge inside of your HueForge software. And I would love to see the way that you approach it. How do you color match it? Let me know and actually post pictures in the Discord. You guys should join the Discord, share your results. I would love to see how you guys would tackle a picture like this because everyone's going to be a little bit different and you can get some really cool results. And I love comparing my work with what you guys create in the community. And so make sure to check out my Discord. The link to this photo and the link to my Discord will be down in the description below. Guys, thank you so much for tuning into today's video. I hope this was just a fun color match video. I have a couple more videos in the works. I'm excited just to continue creating content. I hope you all have a fantastic rest of your week. Huge shout out to all of my patrons. Seriously, you guys allow me to do what I absolutely love to do. If you want to check out more videos, learning how to use HueForge and how to get better at the program, how to create your own business and monetize your HueForge, then you should seriously consider checking out the Patreon. We're running just a quick sale over there, so you get in just a little bit cheaper than everyone else, and we have 6 spots left in our HueForge Pro tier, so you should totally check it out. Our live class is coming up this week, so you definitely don't want to miss it. Guys, thank you so much for checking out this video, and I'll catch you guys in the next one. Until then, y'all, take care.